All right, so we have Ida Barnette, who is a wonderful, wonderful person. Inspirational. I love her art, but I love her heart more than anything. I met her about 6 or 7 years ago, and it was a brief encounter, but we reconnected, I think, through Instagram. There were some other areas that the connection was vital. And I felt like I wanted to be a part of her life, even though it may not have been time then, because I saw her as an authentic person. And so I'm introducing her now. She's a credentialed advocate. And so, Ida, here it is for you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate Kim giving me the opportunity to speak. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I was sitting here trying to think of how to start. I am a credentialed advocate, victim advocate. My focus is on children, women, children, and families who have gone through trauma. And I was thinking, you know, I wanted to introduce myself as that. However, as I'm sitting here, I think my most important job in this life has been to be a mother, a parent, to bring two children in this world and to teach them about the world and how to be better people and how to be strong people and how to be kind people and loving people. I'm gonna try, I'm a little bit nervous, but I'm gonna try to get through this as best I can. I'm a little shaky at first. I wanted to share with you, so that is my most greatest accomplishment is my children, being a mother. On February 4th, give me just one moment. I said I wasn't gonna do this. On February 4th, 2016, my son was, he's 27, he was shot and murdered on the street in Las Vegas, Nevada.
You're doing great. You're doing great. And we celebrate you.
He was 27. He was shot 9 times. With that being said, my life was shattered. Life as I knew it was shattered. I had been married for 28 years, going on 30 years with the same man. So when my son was murdered, it was almost as if I had had a stroke. I didn't know how to do anything. I lost all of who I was, or I thought that I lost all of me, who I was at that time. I was angry at God. Oh, I was pissed off. And I'm going to tell you, I love the Lord, but I'm going to tell you, I cuss like a sailor. So I was pissed off. The scripture I would always give my son daily is Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. So you can only imagine what I felt when he was murdered, shot 9 times on the streets of Las Vegas. I was angry. I was pissed. Anyone who knew me kind of, they couldn't deal with me because of the pain that I was going through. I didn't think I was going to make it. I did not think I was going to make it. Every day, I was always the type of person before this happened. I was always the type of person who had everything planned out. I'm an artist, I'm a creator, I'm a writer. My first book was publishing. It was in the print as my son got murdered, so he never got a chance to read it. I sent my book with him in his casket. So I was the type of person who had everything planned out. February 4th, 2016, all the rose-colored glasses came off of my eyes that day, that very second. My whole life changed. I didn't think I would be sitting here today, but I am. And I can tell you for sure, I know only by God's grace. And I'm so thankful because I had to learn how to live all over again. When it happened, I couldn't think past each day. I couldn't see myself in the next morning. All I could say is, God, please let me get to 12 o'clock midnight. So I couldn't think past the next day. And this is for a person who has gone from point A in her life to point C to D to E to F, because I've had everything planned out to make a better life for me and my children. So at that point, it all stopped. It took me about, I'm thankful for my daughter, her husband, my grandchildren. It took me until June of 2018 to walk away from the trial, the so-called trial. I will never have closure here on this earth. And I had to come to terms with that, because the system is not set up for us everyday people. I'm not going to bash it. I'm not going to say, because my focus is on advocating for people who need me most now, because they are in such dire need of us. If you have gone through a trauma is trauma, but the loss of a child, to me, it almost took me under. I've been through a lot of things in my life, but the loss of my son, I didn't think I was going to make it. I'm thankful that I had my daughter and her husband, my family. But it took every day for me to get up and say, Ida, what is your purpose for today? If I didn't ask myself daily what was my purpose, I wasn't going to make it. It wasn't going to happen. I have known people who have actually died from broken hearts. This is something that you can actually die from, a broken heart. It's something I never thought I would have to deal with. I walked away from my marriage of 28 years, and I'm not going to bash him. It is what it is. You know, it was bad for me. It was bad for my children. I had to walk away from that marriage to get my daughter and I somewhere where we could heal, where we could grieve. I had to get us to a safe place where we could breathe. Recently, this past year, I've continued to learn everything that I can. I've learned about trauma. I've learned about the effects of trauma, how you can't run away from PTSD. You actually have to face these things, because it's worse if you try to maneuver around those feelings or those things that are attacking you. It's going to be worse. You have to face them. This year, I started a nonprofit called IEB-ICU, Stephen Art Foundation. And that means in everything beautiful, I see you, because that's how I live my life now, seeing my son. In everything beautiful, I see him. My daughter is the same way. She supports everything that I do. She focuses on the good. That's why we don't spend, I always say the devil is in the detail. So I try to get away from, sometimes we have to focus on the detail, but when it comes to trials and what the police aren't going to do, and my son laying on the pavement with 9 holes in him, I had to get away from those details so I could breathe again. I had to learn how to live, how to walk, how to speak, how to breathe again. And the only way I did that was by God's grace, and the fact that I stay focused on helping other people. During the time right after he was killed, he was murdered, I couldn't find any help in Las Vegas. There was not a support group that supports parents or families who have had murdered children. A lot of times people did not want to be close to me because of the pain. Of course, I'm very outspoken, you know, with things I go through, because I want to be transparent. So a lot of people could not even deal with me because of the pain that they knew that I was going through. There was a organization out of Baltimore that I contacted, and it's called Family Survivor Network. Without Family Survivor Network, I don't think I would have made it. They hooked me up with a counselor out of Baltimore, a lawyer out of Baltimore, a support group out of Baltimore. I'm 3,000 miles away, and I got all of this, you know, from the East Coast. Without them, I don't think I would have made it. I met a few other people who had lost children. One lady, her name is Dorothy Holloway, and her son was murdered, and she has actually forgiven the murderer and trying to get him out of jail. You know, so she taught me that at some point I have to forgive this young man. I'm not there yet. But I know I have to get there. You know, I just try to stay focused on being an advocate for children. Right now, I am a care coordinator for a mental health office here in Delaware. And I also am a youth advocate for a residential treatment center for the youth here in Delaware. So I try to stay busy. I try to continue to learn about trauma and the effects. I also facilitate art programs for children, women, and families who have suffered through trauma. Through the breathing techniques, I think art really, my creating kept me alive for the 3 years that I couldn't hold on. I could not hold on to anything. I didn't think I was going to make it. I would be up in the middle of the night. I think I did a 14 by 14 foot mural on my apartment wall because I couldn't sleep at night. So that art kept me alive. And I think to get through trauma, we have to bring it out of our bodies. We have to move it out. We have to breathe it out. We have to work it out. Whether that be through painting or baking or singing or dancing, whatever we need to do to get it out of our bodies, that's the goal. And that is some of the things that I teach. And I really love children. I love youth. I think that they need so many tools to make it in this world today. And that is my focus, to give them as many tools as they need to get to where they need to go. It's 10 times harder when they've gone through so much trauma in their lives. If I can give them 2 hours a week of creating and arting and moving and breathing, that's 2 hours they don't have to be in the bull crap, you know what I'm saying, in their mind. So that's where I'm at. I know it's a lot. I'm sorry, but I did.
I think you did very well. And I think that you are definitely an example of heroism or sheroism. I don't know anyone that has went through it the way that you have. I've been in the background, you know, watching you. And when I saw you had started the foundation, I began to support you. I think it's so vital to see our brothers and sisters and support them through these situations. I also saw how expansive your art gift was birthed through this pain. It's often something that, you know, I tell myself and others that no pain, no gain. And unfortunately, at this here cost, it's very hard. But God had shown you that you had something more to give the world, and that was beautiful. I want to add one more thing. It's such a timely initiative connected to killing and murders. Timely initiative that you've taken, whether we know who it was that did the deed or not, because of the issues even with our political leaders or authorities that are just killing the children. So I think that this information and even your contact information will be good to give because there's other mothers that deal with the justice system in so many different ways, and parents that need that support that you have, and what you were shown how to come out of this the way that you have, inspirational. So I am going to open up. You guys can unmute and ask questions if you like. I think you did very well. It's not a presentation, it's your heart. You gave us your heart.
Hey, Ida, this is Lee. How are you?
I'm doing good, Lee. How about you?
Doing well, doing well. So, when you talk about the struggle it took for you and transitioning from the grief to open up your nonprofit, obviously you have a strength to keep going, right? So even though you were saying midnight was your, cutoff, just give it to the next day at midnight. I just wanted to say, as a person who's been to combat, seeing some of the things I got, and knowing the effects of how some people still can't get by it, I just want to say I appreciate you, having your daughter to stand there with you and continue to move forward. So just kudos.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me.
I didn't have a question, but I just wanted to thank you for sharing, because that was beautiful how you took something that I could honestly say I don't know I would be able to get through, and created something that's an avenue that I think isn't explored enough. And like you said, in children and in women, like it's not something that people think about, like, oh, let's turn to being creative. Most of the time people think, you just got to go through it. You got to talk about it. You got to learn to do without. And like you birthed something so phenomenal. So just thank you for sharing. And that's beautiful.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
I thank you as well. And a few people on the line know the story or my husband's background. My husband's brother was murdered 30 years ago. And we just recently, a few weeks ago, we just went on a spiritual journey where he was finally he was finally ready to forgive. And so we're in Texas right now, but we went all the way back up to New York, to retrace some steps and, visit that spot where his brother was murdered, same amount of time shot on the street, and, my mother-in-law told me about having to take water jugs, a few days later and go wash his blood, off of the sidewalk. And the amount of grief, that they both walk with, as mother and brother is unimaginable. And what you built from that grief is amazing, and it's very, very much needed. It's very much needed. I wish my husband had that kind of an outlet. I wish my mother-in-law had something like that to turn to, when they were going through this. Yeah. And so what you've managed to do is amazing. And thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It's very important. I think a lot of people turn to talk therapy, and I don't bash it. But I know for myself, to be able to create and get this pain outside of my body has been number one. I don't think I could have lived if I kept it inside. And Kim she can tell you, because she's seen my art go from this point to this point. I will let you guys know just a little bit to let you know, 2 weeks before my son was murdered, I never really painted. I always sketched. I've been sketching since I was a kid. So 2 weeks before he was murdered, we were at a garage sale and there were 4 quarts of paint. And I was looking at it. He said, "Ma, go ahead and get that. Let me get that for you." I said, "Boy, I'll never use that paint. I don't need it." He said, "Ma, go ahead and get it." So I got it. So the 4 quarts of paint, I never painted before, but after he was murdered, I did my first mural on a wall in a yoga studio, and I used that paint, and that was the most freeing. That was the start of my healing. It was just the start of my healing. And that was, I think that was about 14 by 14 feet. And I just went at it, and it was amazing.
Bless you.
Thank you so much.
Where do you have a picture of it?
I do. I would love, I will share my information with you guys before we get off here. If you go to ISKL Designs on Facebook, or just pull up Google ISKL Designs, my business information will come up. And also, and I'm just going to throw it out there, if there's anyone who needs to speak to me, anyone who has suffered a loss, my telephone number is 928-529-8854. And you can get a hold of me at any time. I'm available.
Hello, am I being heard?
Yes.
Yes.
How you doing? Listen, I applaud you. In 2018, my wife, her son dropped dead from a massive heart attack while he was at work. And that ripped her heart out. And I, working with her through her struggle to make sense of things, and for you to intuitively realize that in order to work through the pain, you have to fully embrace it in order to get through it. That is such an important part of grief. You're not trying to stuff the feelings away, but embracing them, fully experiencing them will help you get through them. And you're blessed to be able to a lot of people to reach that point.
Thank you so much.
They don't experience the feeling. And so, I applaud you. There's nothing but greater things ahead of you because, the greater the pain, the greater the reward. And there's, you found your niche, and I think you'll do wonderful things with it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say your strength is beautiful, and continue to share your story. It was very touching. I'm really I'm really passionate about crimes and murders, and it really does have a touch of place that really aggravates me. So to see you turn that into your pain into something beautiful really is a wonderful thing. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story. You're amazing. Not a lot of people realize how much things like that happen. I remember when I was younger, I think I was like 7 or 8, and my dad was driving through McDonald's, and we met a cousin. He was like 17. And then like a week later, we found out that he was murdered over a bike. So it happens a lot. And thank you for being an advocate. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It happens more often than not. A lot of people want to understand every detail of this. We're not going to understand it in this world. It's not for us to understand in this world. It just isn't. And once we realize that, then I think that we can move forward. To me, that's that. I don't have all the answers for everyone else, but I do have the answers for myself. So I think that was a turning point for me.
Okay, anyone else before we get ready to close up? Okay. So go ahead. I thought I heard a voice. No? All right, Ida, can you give your information one more time so Ashley can put it in the chat?
Yes, I can. You can reach me at isperlin11@gmail.com. You can also reach me at 928-529-8854. Either two of those, or you can reach me online at ISKL Designs or IEB-ICU StephenArtFoundation.org.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
All right, Naila Oni, are you able to speak briefly?
Yes.
Okay. Naya is going to be on next week speaking. And so I just wanted you guys to know, if you want to be a part of that, just send a link. The people that are a part of the membership will have that link sent to them. We're going to do some open professional and business webinars where you guys can explain yourselves into next month. We have a young lady coming on that organized Cash Kids for young people fundings, kids fundings, teaching them how to fund in Jacksonville, Florida. Naya is going to be on next week. Let's see, Karen is a gong master and intuitive. She will be coming on, and also our acupuncturist. So we have some good things coming up until maybe around the middle of November. All right. Any questions? Anything you want to add?
Thank you, Kim, for that.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so Naya, you want to add your topic, or do you want to just say, hey?
Hey, everybody. I don't know what my topic is yet. So, yeah, stay tuned.
That's okay.
All right, all right. So look out for her advertisement, share. We're going to share everyone. Everyone is taking higher levels in their professionalism, even our leaders in our leadership program. And so we want to get that look for you guys too. So I'll be coming around to get another date for you all. How about that? So thank you for coming on, Ida. I will talk to you soon, and also be looking forward to my painting. I have to say that I ordered it.
Yes.
So you guys have a wonderful day. Be safe and do not worry about the climate of our situations in the world. All right. Be blessed.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank